Don in London, hello. It's May 3rd, 2009. My video is all about recovery from either addiction to substance or behaviour, or addiction to substances and behaviours. And I was very gratified to get an update from a watcher yesterday about my diatribe on the 12 steps. Do one fellowship at a time. And they pointed out they actually got benefit from going to 2 fellowships. And, you know, I need to listen to the experience, strength and hope of others around addiction, because it can hit us in so many ways. And I do believe that all people, everyone is unique and authentic on their journey, that we are similar, but yet we still have this uniqueness and authenticity. It's our life experience and where we are now. At the same time, many of us have got one similarity, and that is addiction. And this addiction to either substance or behaviours. Mine was alcohol, and my behaviours could be workaholic, relationshipaholic, any old holic, you name it, gymaholic, sweetaholic, chocolate. I could go for anything and not be able to stop. And there was a gap in me, and I didn't know what it was. And gradually, over time, I became so self-obsessed, just wanting oblivion, not wanting to wake up on a daily basis, that I just couldn't cope anymore. And it's when I got to that place of I cannot cope anymore, and I don't know how to make my willpower work, that I suddenly realised that actually I don't have to do this on my own. I can't do it on my own, and maybe I need some help. Really, really do need some help. So I rang up my psychiatrist, and she said, come in, but don't stop drinking. And she offered me a place in detox, a 3-week detox. And I thought, well, that sounds good. And then immediately, having said yes, I felt no, because it meant, well, what she said was good. She said, keep on drinking until you get there, but don't overdo it, because if you do, you might not make it. So I did exactly what she said, and it softened the cushion between giving it up and going into detox, and then being, I guess, put in isolation for 2 days whilst I sweated it out. And then on to rehab, and I suppose my feelings about rehab can remain where they are for now. But, you know, rehab did one thing. It put a roof over my head, so I could get really rageful and angry about my situation. But it didn't stop me drinking. What really helped was being in fellowship. And it was the fact that a lot of good old boys down in South London have been in a fellowship for many years, said, whatever happens, keep coming back, because we'll look after you. And I didn't know what that meant, and it felt awkward, because I'd always done it on my own, my way. So, no longer doing it my way. The fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and any other fellowship you feel is right for you, is right for you. And working the steps in your own way is absolutely fundamental. There's a 12-step action program to change attitude and behaviour, just gently and gradually on a daily basis. So I'm moving back from a position I took yesterday, and it's important that I can change on a daily basis. Otherwise, there would be no recovery, as recovery requires change on a daily basis towards making life work. So what are my videos about? Well, how AA fellowship helps me, that's Alcoholics Anonymous. And at the beginning of every meeting I go to, of which there are 600 to choose from in London each week, a preamble is shared. It's not necessarily the same where you are, but this is what we use, and it's part of the AA literature. I don't speak for AA, never can, never will. We are unique, authentic, equal-sized, so all I may do is speak about my experience, strength and hope. But the preamble helps me because it slows me down into this moment. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I went to 2 good meetings yesterday. One where I made some tea in the morning. That's the spiritual experience at 11:45. And, you know, all I know about spiritual experience is this. It's about less denials and less filters and seeing reality as it is in the moment of now. So I'm in a 1 day at a time program, and I live in the now as much as I can, and that's spiritual. It's not connected to a religious belief. It's a belief in the universe and nature and providence, and that we're here to make the best of what we have. And it's not all about adversarial winning it's about living experiences which keep us in a place of understanding what serenity might mean on a daily basis. And for me, serenity can be good or bad. It's understanding and accepting where I am today. So AA helps me with all of this, and here on YouTube and other places, because my videos seem to be all over the place at the moment, I use the Daily Reflections book, which is a one-page meditation I guess in the morning, just to make things easier and be focused on recovery and not on self-obsession. 12 steps and 12 traditions, which I'm doing a step a month. There are 12 steps, 12 months. So step 5 is May's one, and that's about, to be clear, admitted to God of your understanding, not mine, to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs, which comes from the fearless moral inventory we do in step 4, which I covered in April. So the other book I use, very briefly, is this one. If I get round to it, I will. But I just want to read out the summary of step 5 from this 12-step book, and the summary goes like this. I'll start with the step again. Admitted to God, to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 12 steps deflate ego. Step 5 is difficult but necessary to sobriety and peace of mind. Confession is an ancient discipline. Without fearless admission of defects, few could stay sober. What do we receive from step 5? It's the beginning of true kinship with man and God. Lose sense of isolation. Receive forgiveness and give it. Learn humility. Gain honesty and realism about ourselves. Necessity for complete honesty. Danger of rationalization. How to choose the person in whom to confide. Results are tranquility and consciousness of God, openness with God, and man prepares us for the following steps, of which there are another 7. So it's a rich topic, how to confess our sins, if you like, but it's actually the assets and liabilities of our step 4 work. So there is balance in there, but it will give us an overall feeling of where we can improve ourselves, and that is the great gift it gives us. In As Bill Sees It, it's a long reading. I don't know if I'm going to have time, but today, 3rd of May, it says here, cleaning house, which is really what step 4 and 5 are about. Somehow, being alone with God doesn't seem as embarrassing as facing up to another person. Until we actually sit down and talk aloud about what we have so long hidden, our willingness to clean house is still largely theoretical, and all the steps are about experiencing life and doing life, not observing it or criticising it. It wasn't unusual for me to talk to God and myself about my character defects, or in my case, good conscience, on any given day, agnostic, atheist or God believer, because I haven't worked it out, and I don't think I can. It's a feeling and a faith. But to sit down face to face and openly discuss these intimacies with another person was much more difficult. I recognised in the experience, however, a similar relief to the one I had experienced when I first admitted I was an alcoholic. I began to appreciate the spiritual significance of the programme, and that this step was just an introduction to what was yet to come in the remaining 7 steps. Thank God they've got the mathematics right in there rather than me. And this one I'll just read as it is. Walking towards Serenity, page 92 from As Bill Sees It. I like these readings. When I was tired and couldn't concentrate, I used to fall back on an affirmation toward life that took the form of simple walking and deep breathing. I sometimes told myself that I couldn't even do this, that I was too weak, but I learned that this was the point at which I could not give in without becoming still more depressed. So I would set myself a small stint. I would determine to walk a quarter of a mile, and I would concentrate by counting my breathing, say 6 steps to each slow inhalation and 4 to each exhalation. Having done the quarter mile, I found that I could go on, maybe a half mile more, then another half mile, and maybe another. This was encouraging. The false sense of physical weakness would leave me, this feeling of being so characteristic of depressions, of which I know a lot. The walking and especially the breathing were powerful affirmations toward life and living away from failure and death. The counting represented a minimum discipline in concentration to get some rest from the wear and tear of the fear and guilt. And we're lucky. And the Serenity Prayer today, as usual, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and simply, just for one day, to see the wisdom and the difference.